I will let you understand that saving 15 Ghana cedis on daily basis for 20 years will help you to generate a whopping 1.2 million in your investment account. Comrades, welcome to Money Talk. In my second video, I made the assertion that one of the critical factors towards breaking free from financial difficulties is to respect money, and actually to respect money that are small. I also did indicate that the difference between the wealthy and the poor is not a million, but it is a penny. I made a wild assertion that if you save a penny today and you do so on consistent basis, it will become a million, powered by the principle of compounding. I'm sure you must have had doubts as to the practicality of these assertions. I believe that you had doubts as to whether this is not just a mere talk, but something that can happen in reality. In today's video, I would want to show you the practicality and the reality of these assertions. I will let you understand that saving 15 Ghana cedis on daily basis for 20 years will help you to generate a whopping 1.2 million in your investment account. The principle of compounding is a principle where you earn interest on interest. And so if you have any investment, you are not quick in withdrawing the interest, but that you add the interest to the principal and reinvest. According to Albert Einstein, the principle of compounding is the most powerful principle in investments. And today in this episode, we will demonstrate that indeed this principle works, and that if you save small amount of money on consistent basis, you will benefit from this principle called the principle of compounding. Kindly turn with me to the board. This is a simplified calculation of how we can generate 1.2 million simply by saving 15 cedis on daily basis for 20 years. But before we delve into the actual details of the calculation, I would love us to take note of a few things. Number one, what sort of investment do we want to go into? As people who are starting out on this journey towards financial dream world, we don't want to entertain any risk. So we want to go in for what we call risk-free investment. And risk-free investment is normally the treasury bills. That is investment with the government. It is called risk-free because you and I know that if you invest with the government, it is unlikely that you will lose your investments. It is a near impossibility that when your investment falls due, government will not be able to find money to pay you. Hence, its name risk-free. So that is what we want to go in for. Having determined that, we also have to look at the interest rate that is reasonable for us to work with. And today, as I speak with you, the return on treasury bill averages about 26%, but we don't want to go for 26% because, again, as starters, we want to be prudent and conservative. Being prudent and conservative simply means that we don't want to estimate our income so high. We want to be reasonable with our estimate, so we are settling for 20%. With these variables determined, let's now go into the calculations. We actually have the full calculation displayed. So if you are interested, you can go into the calculation and see the full details for yourself. For the purpose of this video, we are giving you this summarized version, which at the end of the day is going to produce the same result that we are looking for. Now, we have year 0, 1, 2, 5, 10, 15, and 20. Year 0 is actually the year in which we want to generate our first principal for the investment. So we are going to save for 1 year to have our first principal for the investment. Remember, we are doing 15 cedis on every day. So let's assume that we have 30 days in every month. So we have 15 times 30, which is going to give us 450. So for the first month, we have 450, and we are doing this for 12 months. So that gives us 5,400 as our initial principal for investments. So we begin our investment in year 1. Our investment is 5,400. There is no additional, principal for year 1. So our total principal now becomes 5,400. We invest it in our treasury bill at the rate of 20%. At the end of year 1, our investment balance is now 6,480. Taking out our investment of 5,400, we generate an interest of 1,080. Remember that the principle of compounding requires that we don't withdraw the interest. So we add the interest to our principal and begin our investment in year 2. So in year 2, our initial investment is now 6,480. Now remember that our 15 cedis contribution is still ongoing. So at the end of year 2, at the end of year 1, we have 5,400 to add to 6,480, and that will give us 11,880 as our principal for investment. We put it into our treasury bill at 20%, and that gives us 14,250. In year 2, we are generating interest of 2,376. Now let's fast forward to year 5. In year 5, our investment would have grown to 34,785. Remember, our contribution of 15 cedis is still ongoing, so we have our 5,400, which will be added to give us our principal of 40,185. We put it into the investment at 20%, and that generates 48,222. Our interest is 8,037. Now, let's fast forward to year 10, where our investment would have grown to 134,777. We add our additional investment of 5,400 to give us 140,177. You put it into our treasury bill at the rate of 20%, we get 168,212. In that year alone, we are generating an interest of 28,035 Ghana cedis. Let's fast forward to year 15. We still have the patience to wait until we get into the million mark. So in year 15, our investment would have grown from the initial 5,400 to 383,590. We add our additional principal of 5,400 to get 388,990. We put it into our investments, earning an interest of 20%. So our investments at the end of year 15 would have become 466,788. That year alone is going to give us an interest of 77,798. So you can see that with the principle of compounding, our investment is increasing at an exponential rate, and we shall soon see the magic. Now, let's quickly move to year 20. In year 20, our initial principal would have become 1,002,715. We add our additional investment of 5,400, giving us 1,008,115. Put it into our investment at 20%. We get a whopping 1.2 million Ghana cedis. That is 1,209,738. In that year alone, just look at the interest you are earning. 201,623. Now, this is where the power of compounding lies. You find out that the total investments that came from you, that is the 15 Ghana cedis you saved on regular basis, on daily basis, actually amounted to 108,000. That is how much you invested. Now see the magic. Out of this 108,000 invested, you are actually earning an interest of 1,101,738, which is times 10 of what you invested. Dear comrade, this is where the power of compounding lies. You find out that the investment that actually came from you is 108,000 Ghana cedis. That is the 15 Ghana cedis you save on regular basis, on daily basis, actually sum up to 108,000 Ghana cedis. But out of that, you are generating a whopping 1,101,738. That is times 10 of how much you invested. This is the power of compounding. It makes your investment to grow at an exponential rate. I know that not all of us can do the 15 Ghana cedis, but at least you can do 1 Ghana cedi, you can do 2 cedis, 5 cedis, 10 cedis. Now do the mathematics. If you do 1 cedi, based on this calculation, all things being equal, you will generate 80,000 in your investment account. 2 cedis will give you 160,000, 5 cedis will give you 400,000, and 10 cedis will give you 800,000. If you are able to do 20 cedis, your guess is as good as mine. You generate a whopping 1.6 million in your investment account. Dear comrade, I have come to find that the business of making money is never beyond the reach of any of us. All of us can make money. The business of making money rests, as I have come to find, on 3 basic principles. Number 1 is the acquisition and appreciation of the wealth creation principles, as we have just espoused. And those principles can actually be found on no other platform than on Money Talk. Number 2 is to have the discipline to live these principles. Practicalize the principles to see palpable results. Number 3 is to have the patience to wait and see your investment grow and mature. I know you are motivated by listening to this video, but know that motivation is not just enough. You need to move into action. Create an account today. It doesn't matter the number of accounts you have. You can actually create a new account specifically for this enterprise. And since we are dealing with small amounts of money, I would love to recommend to you the services of rural and community banks. These are specialized financial institutions that deal in small amounts of money, and they can actually be useful in this enterprise. And they are established or scattered across the length and breadth of the country. So no matter where you are, either you are in country or outside the country, you can still do business with them. But there is one I specifically want to recommend to you, which is Nyakom Rural Bank. This is the first rural bank established in Ghana, located in the central region and headquartered in Agona, Nyakrum. It has branches across the length and breadth of central region and beyond. The interesting thing is that they do not have any limits in dealing with their clients. So no matter where you are, they have the systems, the processes, and the staff to get you covered. If you are interested in accessing their services, you can actually reach out to me in the comment section, and I will help you to establish contact with them and to do business with them. This is all that I have for you by way of inspirational fuel for today. I would love to see you again in my next session, where I will take you through practical steps in determining how much you are worth. As an individual, let me ask you a question. Do you know your personal assets? Do you know the things that bring in cash into your coffers? Do you know your personal liabilities, the things that take out cash from your pocket? You need to be able to know how much you are worth at any point in time, so you can maximize your assets and minimize your liabilities. That is the only way you can shore up your finances and be able to create a nest egg for your future. Don't miss out on that episode because it promises to be mind-blowing. Until then, this has been your comrade Daniel Akon advising you to stay focused. Don't just work hard because there are so many hardworking people who are still poor, but work smart and above all, underpin everything with discipline.